Turn off your phone, close the door, put on headphones, get your notebooks out. We are going to write. Hello, Rattly friends, and welcome back to the Virtual Writing Academy. It's been a little while, but I see that we are now back in formal session. The holidays just about wrapped up, and I didn't want to give you too much homework in the meantime, so now we are finally able to get back into things. Today I have a very special exercise for you. Since we recently were talking about character change, I wanted to dabble a little more in the idea of characters. This time around though, dealing with character complexity. Let me just say that I am pretty excited to get going with this session. So, before anything else, let's explain, those of you who are new to the show, how this class is going to work. I will give you a timed writing exercise, I will shut up, and you will write. Once the time is up, you will stop writing and I will start talking again. Simple as that. Once we're done with today's exercise, we will meet again and talk about our experiences. Yes, there is a little bit of a lesson hidden behind this exercise, but I will not tell you what it is until the end. Why? Because the best learning is done by doing. So, grab your notebook or open up your writing software of choice. You can minimize this video if you like, I'll tell you when to bring it back up. In the meantime, I think it's time to give you my musical recommendations for today. For today, we're going to need something a little special. You see, I think that today's exercise is very modular, and whatever feeling or music you come in with is severely going to affect everything. So with that in mind, there are two playlists of mine that I recommend for this exercise. The first one is After the Bomb. Although After the Bomb is clearly a post-apocalyptic or dystopian sort of playlist, I packed in so much like somberness to that playlist. It is a really sad playlist. It is sad in the sort of way that the apocalypse is sad, and, in the idea that things are lost forever. So if you think that you're gonna come into this exercise wanting to write something, like somber straight off the bat, then you should definitely pick up After the Bomb. The other recommendation is writing about love. Why? Because this exercise is very special. I think that if you write this exercise to my writing playlist, Writing About Love, you will find out that the entire playlist gets flipped on its head. All of the songs for Writing About Love are kind of touching, emotional songs that feel kind of like uplifting, like, you're in love with someone, except that this exercise, I can assure you, will flip all of those songs on their butt. Seriously. If you want a special challenge, write this prompt to that playlist, because it's going to break your heart. Trust me. As always, you can find the links to all of this playlist in the description below. Of course, if you would like to listen to your own music, that's entirely okay. Or if you want to check out the rest of my writing playlists, you can find them over at 8tracks.com/mkieran. Now, I'm gonna give you a minute or two to go get your stuff. In the meantime, I'll just be here, so go open up your notebook and stuff and prepare the music. I didn't actually prepare anything for today, so I think I'm just gonna play with my phone. Totally playing with my phone. How are you playing with your phone, Max? Well, I have books on my phone, and I like to read books. Do you read books? I love reading books. This is just, small talk. This is what it feels like, I assume, when, all of the students are getting this stuff, and, the teacher is just sitting there, chilling, just reading some awful fanfics that I wrote for my friends. Awful. If one day she lets me share that with the world, everything will explode. Everything. Absolutely everything. I know very well that I hold the power to destroy the world. No, seriously. Legit. Absolutely true. Not lying to you. Would I lie to you? Do you think I would lie to you? As your teacher? Probably not. As a fellow writer who understands the wonderful feeling that it is to crush someone's heart? Maybe. Regardless of that, I think it's just about ready. For those of you who have your stuff ready, and for those of you who are paying attention to my ridiculous speech, I think it's just about time that we get going. Are you ready? Before we go any further, allow me to give you the formal disclaimer that you are indeed allowed to use your own characters and your own setting for this exercise. You are free to change the location of this prompt and the characters in this prompt to fit whatever you're working. Whatever you need to get writing, even going beyond the time limit, is fine by me. Just make sure to come back. Now, let's start. Today's prompt is called The Face of a Liar. You will have 10 minutes to write from the point of view of a character as they're about to make a promise to someone they love. The catch? This promise means the world to the other character. Double catch, your character knows that they can't and will not keep that promise. Again, you will have 10 whole minutes to write from the point of view of a character who is about to make a promise that they will not keep. And even so, they're about to put themselves through this horrible experience. Why? Why are they doing this? And why is it that lying has become the best course of action? They say that honesty is the best policy. Wouldn't that mean, though, by process of elimination, that dishonesty is the second best policy? Enter the mind of a character who is about to look into the eyes of their loved one and is going to lie to them. Worst of all is that the time for choices is gone. Your character has now been left with nothing but enacting this plan to go forth and lie to someone who loves them as much as they love them. How awful it is to make terrible choices. How awful it is to bear the scars of these choices. But such is the way of being alive. Such is the way of love on heartbreak and choices. As always, I will not send you on this journey alone. Let me give you the first line. This story begins like this. I had no other choice. I was... What are the feelings that have tangled this character's heart? And why is it that lying has become better than speaking the truth? Only you can answer this question, dear writer. So go bravely, write recklessly, and seek to find the truth. 60 seconds remaining. Alright, time's up! Pencils down, fingers off the keyboard! If you minimize this video, please bring it back up. Let's take a deep breath. I should stop messing with my hair in between transitions. We recently did a bunch of exercises on character growth and how growth can come from many places. And although I think that these two subjects are one and the same, I want to talk about character complexity. I wanted to talk about character complexity. One of the things that I hear the most in regards to writing and characters is the idea that characters need to be flawed. And I think that this particular look at things is a little bit flawed itself. Flaws are a pretty interesting way of looking at things, sure, but I think that the best way to create complex characters is not through simply stacking on weaknesses to a character, but instead by focusing on the things that make them human. Like the things that make them bitter, the things that make them angry, the things that make them sad. Ultimately, writing is about empathy, about understanding other people, putting ourselves in their shoes and seeing through their eyes. Thus, to create a meaningful character who is as real to us as a real person, we must treat them like a real person. And characters like real people must have things that make them bitter, things that make them angry, things that make them sad. It is these negative traits that allow us to relate to other people. Why? Because I find that through storytelling and, through movies and books and all of those forms of storytelling, we relate to people's failures more than we relate to their victories. So I think you can understand now the sort of situation that I wanted to create with today's exercise. I wanted to put you in the shoes, in the eyes, in the head of a character in a horrible, horrible situation from which they were not going to ever be successful, where they were not going to be able to gain anything from this positively. Instead, they would only gain scars. And isn't it awful to have to hurt someone you care about? Isn't it awful to have to lie to someone because of other reasons? But I don't think I need to tell you that, because you wrote the exercise, you played with it, and you have probably already found all of those things out. How was your experience? Let me know in the comments below how it went, and if you would like to share your writing with the rest of us, feel free to do so. I think that today's exercise is awful. It's awful because it is so very human. We don't always get what we want. But isn't that what makes us as people more interesting, though? The things that have made us bitter and sad and angry? Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when writing characters. Consider what are the things that make them more human, the things that make them closer to us, and expand on them. And if the time comes for you to write a horrible, horrible scene like this, do not hold back. Go all the way, see where it goes, see where it leads, and let that character become more human. Pop out of the page if it may. Now, before I go anywhere else, there's one more thing I need to point out, and that is that there's a part 2 to this exercise, and we will experience it together next week. Why? Because I believe that the purpose of the phantoms of our past is to wake us up in the middle of the night, rattling chains. I hope this helps. I hope that you enjoyed this exercise. I certainly had a blast making it, so let me know what you think in the comments. As always, of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you want more. And if you would like even more writing advice, make sure to head over to my official writing blog over at maxkieran.tumblr.com. Thank you so much for watching, thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me, and I hope to be seeing you soon! Mwah! By the way, somebody was asking me if I was going to ever consider doing reads of my books or other works, and I am actually. It's all part of the process. So, if you want to see more content like that, let me know. I can absolutely hurry up those sort of projects. They're a little bit time consuming, but if you want to see it, if you want to enjoy that, then by all means, let me know. Yeah, let me, and you may just be seeing stuff like that relatively soon.